Welcome to Tony Tone Barbecue. I'm Tony, and I'm about to attempt something I've never done before. I'm going to try to cook this 15-pound turkey directly over coals in my 22-inch Weber kettle using the Only Fire rotisserie ring. And I'm not sure it's going to work out or not. So in my last couple of videos, I cooked a 5-pound chicken in the kettle here with this Only Fire rotisserie ring, and it turned out fantastic. It was phenomenal. I love rotisserie chicken, and this worked out really well. And then in my latest video, I cooked a 10-pound 3-bone prime rib roast, same setup, directly over the coals, and it was phenomenal. Beautiful. I really loved it. And now this is a 15-pound turkey, and I'm not sure if we're gonna max this thing out or not. It looks like it'll fit. Hopefully it will actually rotate if that motor's got the power to do it. And hopefully it comes out great, not burnt or anything like that. So let's give it a shot, see what we can do. All right, this turkey's been soaking in a brine for about 24 hours. I will put the recipe for the brine in the description of the video. There's also gonna be links to other stuff, tools, and maybe other videos and stuff in the description. So make sure you go to the description and check that out. Since I'm really experimenting with this and I wanna test the true flavor of the turkey and see how it comes out after cooking over the coals, I'm going to keep the seasoning really light. I'm not gonna put anything in the cavity, and since it's been soaking in the brine, I'm just gonna go ahead and season it with garlic powder and pepper. So first thing I'm gonna do is see if I can get this thing on the spit securely. Oh, well, that goes through real easy. All right, now the legs I want to make sure don't go opening up and flopping around. It's got the band of skin here that's holding them together, but I think I want to add a little bit more protection. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap some twine around those legs. I'm going to cross them and wrap the twine around them, and just make sure they don't end up coming loose and opening them up. All right, that'll do. And get the fork into it here to even try to secure it a little bit more. Okay. All right, got the forks in, tighten them down, and then I'm just gonna make sure that get this thing centered. Okay. Now, I'm concerned because that breast is pretty heavy. It's gonna wanna get to the top, and then it's gonna wanna kind of come over again pretty quickly. I'm also gonna need to run another piece of string around the wings to keep them from flopping open. I wonder if I can reposition this a little bit. Feels a little better. All right, let's go ahead and secure those wings. All right, that's better. And I wonder if I can get this one up a little higher. Okay. Let's see if I got it positioned right. Yeah, it's right in the center. That looks good. Curious how it's going to spin. Let's test that. That is spinning surprisingly well. Okay, I'm good. I'm happy with that. that motor seems to have enough torque there. It's not letting it just flop over when it gets to the heavy side. That's really good. Okay, let's go ahead and get this seasoned up, and I'm just going to let it sit out for a while I go ahead and get the charcoal ready to go. All right, great. Let's go ahead and get the coals ready. Okay, for the fire, we're going to be using a chimney full of just regular Kingsford charcoal. And I said before in my other videos, this is not a sponsored video. I like Kingsford charcoal. Feel free to use whatever charcoal is your favorite if you're going to try and duplicate this process at your own home. For a little extra flavor, I'm going to be adding the Jealous Devil smoke wood blocks. These are whiskey barrel chunks, and I used them on my last cook and they actually work really well, so I'm going to be using those. So let's go ahead and fire this up, and we'll get to cooking here in a little bit. And just to give you an idea what today's conditions are like, it is 65 degrees. It has been raining off and on. It's cloudy. It's probably going to be raining again here before this cook is over. Really just excellent day to be barbecuing. All right, as we're cooking this bird, we're going to monitor the internal temperature of the meat with the RFX gateway, and I'm going to use 4 of the wireless probes here, and they're going to be sending a signal directly to my cell phone so I can see what the temperatures are. So I'm going to insert one in each breast and one in each thigh. All right, that's going to give me a good idea of what the temperatures are. The 2 up top are in the breast. The 2 down here on the bottom are in the thighs. And of course, you know, this is going to depend if I got them in the right spot, you know, if I'm not too close to a bone or piece of metal. But it's definitely going to help me monitor the cooking temperature of the turkey. But we're going to take her up to about 160 and probably remove it from the heat around that point and let it do a little carryover cooking. But ultimately, the goal is to get up to 165 degrees internal temperature throughout the bird to make sure it's thoroughly cooked. All right, charcoal's hot enough, so let's go ahead and get it in the kettle. There we go. I'm going to arrange it so it's mostly down the middle here. I've got my dividers, one on each side here and here to keep it kind of centered, and I'm going to let a little bit of the charcoal be along the outside as well. So my biggest concerns here with this were, one, you know, is that turkey going to be able to turn nicely with this motor and this rotisserie? Looks like that's not going to be a problem because we tested that already and it turns really nice. Other big concern is the turkey going to be so big that it's going to be too close to the charcoal and burn, get too much char on the outside? Well, we're gonna see. And the other concern I have is this charcoal gonna last long enough to cook the turkey, or am I going to have to add some more charcoal? If I need to add some, that's not that big of a deal. I can do that. I still have a bucket of some of my leftover smaller bits of charcoal that haven't burned away completely in last cook. Might just throw some of that in there if I need to. That'll light up real nice. So, you know, those are the concerns. We're going to see how this goes. Charcoal's looking nice. So I'm going to set the intake vent to a lower level. We're going to get it down to like my number 1 there. So it's got a really low, this is the lowest air intake. So it's just a little hole that's open. It's going to allow air to flow in. And let's go ahead and get the rotisserie ring in place. There we go. And motor on, ready to go. And I'm gonna go ahead and add a couple of the Jealous Devil smoke blocks now and get those going. These coals, I'm gonna put in 4, 2 on each end. All right, those coals look really good. I'm happy with the setup here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get this bird on now. Last time I went to put that roast on, I forgot to leave these gloves on, and it was really difficult getting it in this hole over here, being directly over the heat like that. That went in nice and easy. There. That looks good. Just slide there. All right. Yeah. And let's get her turning. Okay, you can see flames starting to come up already. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this lid down here right away. Yeah, everything's looking good. Those blocks are starting to catch fire and smoke a little, so perfect. Now it's time to get this lid on. Good. Having the lid on, I'm gonna have this vent over here just open a little bit. It's only open about 15%. I want to keep it pretty tight. Here, I'll let you get a close up of that. We need to keep the intake really low. Over here, this number 0 here, that is closed completely. That is no airflow. 1 is just a little hole that's open, and 2 is about 30% open. 3 is about 75% open, and 4 is wide open. So we're gonna keep it way down here just this little bit. We want really low airflow. Up top here, I'm gonna keep this just barely open. See that just little tiny hole there? I need to keep that fire from getting out of control. My goal is to have cooking temperature inside here of around 350 degrees. 325 is nice, and looks like it popped right up to almost 350. And that needle doesn't seem to be moving very much. It looks like it's coming up a little bit. So I'm gonna watch that. And down here, there's another gauge, and it is showing that it is right now at 300. And it looks like it's moving up really slowly. So current time is 2:46. So we're going to just give it about 10 minutes, and we're gonna check on it and see where the temperatures are. Okay, time is now 2:55, so that lid has been down for about 10 minutes. Let's have a look at the temperature. I haven't touched it. It's come down a little bit to around 320 degrees up top there. And down here below, it's showing about 300 degrees. So yeah, closing off the air like that definitely stifled the fire a little bit. We'll take a quick peek, and I might open up the vents just a little bit. Yeah, things are looking really good inside there. So I don't want to mess with this too much. Just give it a little tiny bit more airflow up top. A little bit makes a big difference, so you got to be careful with that. And maybe just tap this just a tiny bit, literally just a little smidgen on the bottom, and I think we're in good shape. I will continue to monitor the temperature and make sure that it doesn't come up above 350 degrees. And it's something you just have to kind of keep an eye on. And from a distance, you know, do your thing. But I'm going to make sure that I don't see an excessive amount of smoke coming out of there, because if you see an excessive amount of smoke blowing out of your kettle, that means that you got a fire going on inside there. So as it cooks, as more oils start to come out of the skins and everything, sometimes that can cause a little fire in there. And if that happens, you just got to come over here. Don't open the lid, but just go ahead and choke off the air completely, and that will die out. So that's it. I'm going to just monitor this cook from a distance and make sure the temperature doesn't start falling below 300 degrees, and especially after a couple hours. I'm thinking it's probably going to be maybe 2.5 hours, but we'll see. All right, the time is now 4:55, so it has been a solid 2 hours since we started cooking, and we are looking at about 131 degrees on that probe, 140 on that probe, 141, 148. So I'm going to go by the lowest probe. This one is in the breast of this turkey, so 132 degrees. I'm figuring we probably have another maybe 45 minutes to go of cooking time to get it up to about 160, 165. Things have been pretty uneventful, but I've noticed that the temperature is starting to come down a little bit. It's been hovering just around 320 degrees. Now we're getting closer to about 275. So let's have a look. And I did take a quick peek a minute ago. So here's what we see. Turkey is looking beautiful. It's really looking good. Down below, if you kind of notice, the coals over here have burnt down pretty good. Over here, though, we've got an area where they actually kind of got put out by the drippings coming off the turkey. A little bit too much liquid coming out, put out those coals there, so they didn't burn very well. And over here, we still got a bunch of unburnt coal as well. So I think what we're going to need to do now is going to need to add some more coals. Now, having this lid off for an extended period of time is letting a lot of heat out. It's going to kind of goof up my cooking time, but it's okay. I'm going to throw some more coals down over here and see if we can get this fire going a little bit more, and we will keep on cooking. I mean, so far it's looking really great. I like the color, and man, yeah, I'm happy with what I'm seeing so far. So let's get some coals in there. All right, so first I'm going to just take a few of these and kind of carefully move them over here. Keep hitting that temperature probe there. And then I'll get a few of these leftovers. All right, you can see here I did a little adding of the coals. I also did a little rearranging of the charcoal, kind of opened up that little area down there in the middle. You can see it's kind of starting to turn red again already, so I think that's effective. I got some more hotter coals over here. I got a little flame coming up now, so I've let this breathe for a while so it would clear out the smoke and kind of get these get this charcoal going. But now I got to close this lid again, or these flames are going to get out of control and going to cause some extra charring on the turkey. But it's rotating nicely and things are looking good. So let's go ahead and get the lid down now. And now I'm just going to have to kind of keep an eye on it again and see what the temperature comes up to, and make sure it doesn't spike above 350. But we're looking good. We're looking good. It's now 5:05. So it took about 10 minutes to kind of get this charcoal reactivated, and we will now see how long it takes to finish it up. Okay, time is now 6:08, so it has been about 3 hours and say 15 minutes, 3 hours and 20 minutes that this has been cooking. We just hit the internal temperature on, let's set this down here. This probe right here is now showing an internal temperature of 160 degrees. The next probe down, this is an abreast. This one's also an abreast. It's showing 177. And then down here we got one in the thigh showing 166, and the other one in the thigh showing 177. So the reason why we've got 160 and 177 is simply because of the placement of where the probe is. So I'm going by the lowest number overall. Same thing with the thighs. This one that's at 178 is probably just a little closer to the surface or a little closer to the bone. I don't know. But that is why that number is much higher than the other one. With all in all, we're in great range there. And I'm going to go ahead and take it off of the kettle now, because there's going to be some carryover cooking. So I'm going to take it out. I'm going to put it on a pan over here. I'm going to cover it with some aluminum foil, and the temperature is going to continue to rise. So let's have a look at this bird and see what we see. I'm not unhappy with what I see. This is looking fantastic. Now, I haven't done anything to this. I have not basted it. I haven't brushed it with anything. I've just let it rotate the entire time. I'm going to let it spin around here one more time. You can, the skin looks really good. I don't see any issues there. Overall, color-wise, it's pretty consistent from front to back and top to bottom. You see a lot of drippage that kind of came out of the cavity here and kind of spilled down the side of the breast onto the thigh over here. That looks a little funky, but I wanted to leave that as is. I didn't want to disturb it. I just wanted to let it spin so you can see what actually happens. Now, I kept this very simple. Like I said, I just brined it and I seasoned it with garlic powder and pepper. I didn't add any additional salt because it's been in that brine for a long time. And I also didn't rinse it off after the brine either. So still a little bit of salt residue on that skin there. So it should be plenty salty. Yeah, this is looking really good. I'm going to go ahead and get my high heat gloves on there. I'm going to use 2 hands to take this thing out of here because it's 15 pounds and I don't want to mess up getting this out of here. So we'll set that down. We'll do this. All right, we'll stop it from spinning, and let's go ahead and grab this bad boy here. All right. There it is. Ooh. That smells good. That smells really good. That is, that's impressive. Very impressive. It's cold out here. 65 degrees. It's not that cold, but a little bit. I'm going to throw some aluminum foil over it. Couple layers here to kind of protect it and not let the outside get too cool too quickly. And we're going to let it rest here tented for a while. And I'm going to continue watching the temperature see what it does. And then we'll carve in and have a look. So far, I'm happy with what I'm seeing. Really happy with the way that rotisserie worked. I like that it wasn't being bogged down by the weight of the turkey as it rotated. It just continued to rotate properly without flopping over to one side. And it fit perfectly. I think this is going to be a winner. We'll see once we carve into it. Turkey's been resting for close to an hour, actually, now. So let's go ahead and check it out. All right, well, there it is. Get a good look at that all the way around. It's still hot. All right, so get this out of the way. We don't need that anymore. And let's start taking this thing apart. Probe, and probe. Okay, loosen up that fork and that one. Should be able to slide this right out. There it goes. And let's take out this fork here. Oh, those came out nice and easy. All right, let's transfer this bird over to the cutting board. Beautiful. All right, and we need to cut this string loose here. I like that it's still intact, didn't burn off. And then there was the one string under the skin here on the leg. And there it is. Okay. Another free bird. All right. Now, let's go ahead and yeah, this is nice. It's looking good here. Let's see if I can just free off this wing here. Okay. All right, there's a wing. And that wing looks really good. The meat looks nicely cooked. Yeah, that smells fantastic. I do like what I'm seeing there. That looks like a really nice eaten wing. I'm going to set that aside there for now. And I'm going to remove the leg and thigh over here. This is an area that's typically kind of difficult to get a good cook on. And, you know, all the way done. And I don't see any blood. I see just like a little bit of what I would see normal pink. So, yeah. This looks great. Trying to just carefully get that knuckle there from the other side of the bird so you can see. There we go. All right. That meat looks really good, especially around the bone here. If I see any like raw meat around the bone, I don't see any of that. It looks really good. Let's go ahead and remove that. There we go. Look at that. That looks fantastic. That actually looks really good. I'm happy with that. Oh, and the aroma, I can definitely smell that whiskey barrel. That is really, really good smelling. All right, and now the breast. Let's just go ahead and remove this breast here. I'm kind of working from the opposite side I would normally work from, so bear with me here. There, slice down there. All right. And yeah, we're cooked all the way through. That looks good, and it looks, I see, you know, plenty of moisture in there. It doesn't look dry. That looks really good. Okay, now, what do I try? Man, that just looks fantastic. Let me just get a little bite of this piece of breast right here. That is good. Oh yeah, that is really good. I can definitely, there's plenty of salt in there, but it's not too salty. It's really just perfect. A little garlic and peppery. could definitely get that whiskey barrel flavor, that smoke flavor. It's just, but it's not overpowering. It's just a nice little spicy touch to it. That is really good. And look at the meat falling off this bone over here. All right, let me just get a little piece of this wing. It looks really good. This is really good. This is really, really good. I'm going to do this again for Thanksgiving. This is really good. Wow. Yeah, that's all I can say about that. Okay, so can the Only Fire rotisserie ring handle a 15-pound turkey? Yes. I bet it can even handle a 20-pound turkey. I might be pushing it though, but if you want to give it a shot, I'd say go for it. Hey, again, thanks for watching. Any comments, questions, send them my way. I appreciate it. Don't forget to check the description for information, links, recipes, stuff like that. And like, subscribe. I got a pig coming up pretty soon. We got a goose. I got a duck. It's probably going to be next. I don't know. We're going to do some stuff, though. It's going to be fun. Thanks for watching, and keep on cooking, my friends.